We didn't talk about Pettersson very much, Harm. Urf and I did yesterday, but I'm curious to get your thoughts on him. This one from Conversation, regular listener to the show. Pettersson is so snake bitten, man. It's so tough watching bubble videos of him. I wonder if he'll actually do better without the big lights in Vancouver in a slightly different environment in Nashville on the road.
Yeah, you hope so. Because look, there's a stretch there of a handful of minutes in the middle of that second period where that game changed, and it just sort of encapsulated almost the story of game two, which is Philip Forsberg. We mentioned it earlier. Kevin touched on it as well. Preds didn't have a lot of scoring chances, but when Forsberg had an opportunity, he made that game-changing play. Like that one superstar type moment where he took advantage of a mismatch against Noah Juleson and just undressed Smith completely, made that elite difference maker type of play. And then minutes later, it's Nashville's 3-0 goal, which starts with a Pettersson turnover in the defensive zone, him then stumbling, and then he can't clear the rebound that DeSmith leaves. That kind of sums up one of the important factors of that game too. Is Vancouver's top players weren't, yes, they had zone time, they had opportunities, but they couldn't make that one game-changing play. Whereas Nashville's, they saw that one opportunity and took it. And I mean, not to sort of move away from Pettersson too much here, but another point that should be made. Off an offensive zone draw in that situation, Nashville's top line, Vancouver's last change. I don't think Noah Juleson should have been on the ice for that. It wasn't an icing situation. I think that's a mistake for the coaching staff, especially considering how that play unfolded and how Forsberg took advantage of Juleson there. But anyway, going back to Pettersson, when I'm watching him now, I mean, there are a few things that come to mind. First, it just feels like everything to do with his finishing and shooting is just off right now. When he's at his best, he is so surgical. He is so precise, so accurate. Whereas now it feels like even his shot selection is off sometimes. Where on the power play, for example, especially in that first period, he would be shooting in situations where the lane was taken away and he'd get his shots blocked, or he'd miss the net, and Nashville would get clear. So plays would kind of die on his stick in that way. But then there would also be situations where he's passing up a shot when he should be shooting. And there are also situations where JT Miller finds him with a dangerous cross ice pass, but he bobbles the puck and he takes an extra fraction of a second to settle it. And by the time he settles it, that defenseman on Nashville has taken away that shooting lane, and it's not the scoring chances effectively died right there. So everything to do with loading up into that shot to then actually executing seems off the mark. And that's, of course, in addition to him not looking dynamic as a puck transporter, as a play driver right now. It's definitely concerning, and they're going to need, whether it's game 3 or game 4, like they're going to need him at some point to really take this series and sort of do, like, I remember in the bubble, there would be the odd game in a series where even outside of just, hey, producing, he would put the team on his back. And we haven't seen any of those signature plays from him yet. And if it's not Pettersson at some point, then it's going to have to be a JT Miller or Quinn Hughes, because for as much offensive zone time as Miller and Hughes have had, or even Brock Besser, a 40-goal scorer, none of those guys have had enough game-changing plays either. Like, one of these top guys has to step up.
Yeah, and I mean, what I said yesterday, Harm, was that they're going to be without Thatcher Demko in this series, and he's a key player for them. They can't be without any more key players if they want to win this series. Like, their other key players need to be present. They need to be difference makers in this series. Okay, I quickly wanted to get this in yesterday. Yeah.
Like, one more thing. I haven't been able to get it officially confirmed or anything, and I know it's a time of year where a bunch of guys are banged up, but I really wouldn't be surprised if Pettersson's playing through something. There's some rumblings that you kind of hear. Again, nothing confirmed. I don't want this to end up on Twitter or anything. But I really wonder if that's part of the story too. Not that that's an excuse, because you still need to find a way to produce anyway. But also something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Jeff Patterson even pointed out on Rinkwide. We talked about it yesterday. Patterson was taping up that wrist. So again, Not reporting anything, but we saw him taping his wrist. So do with that what you will.
Canucks Conversation is live Monday through Friday, every weekday at 2 p.m. over on the Canucks Army YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and interact in the YouTube live chat every day with us, folks.